Get sitting comfortably. It's Ricky and Muscle Times here once again. We are here for the Trilogy of Dead of Winter that's taking place on the 30th and the 31st of January at Ivory Blacks. So far, it's been an amazing weekend. Every band has nailed it. To be honest with you, I was a wee bit disappointed in your performance. No, but do you know, Rick, it's quite funny. Like, I spoke to you half an hour before you went on stage, and you're the happiest guy ever. When you're on stage, you're an angry motherfucker.
I am.
Yeah, it's like you've got a split personality.
Yeah,
but how was the set for you two guys then? How did it go?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I've not played it live for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it was a bit fast for my liking, but I'm getting old now, so I'm struggling, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So do you think the next Austerymn material, I'll go with Austerymn, it may be a wee bit more doom deathy?
I don't know. I just put the drums to it really, so I don't write the.
So you're the last one that gets all the material.
Yeah, I make a mess of it at the end.
What will probably happen is we'll probably write some stuff, and then Bob will tell us to fuck off, and then we'll slow it down a bit or whatever. It's just old school stuff.
Yeah.
We'll play it whatever pace it seems to be the right one, and Bob will be absolutely fine. We're all fucking old.
Yeah. The two songs that stood out for me, I mean, the whole set was brilliant, but the two songs that stood out for me was from your 1990 demo, but especially Buried Alive. But also, I'm just wondering, have your lyrics changed since you were like 15, 16 when you're like fucking dead corpses in the apocalypse?
Yes. Yes, considerably so, because I sort of like realised that it's not all about zombies with big tits and all the rest of it. It's you know, I mean, Chuck said it really, really well. There's a lot of fucking horror in the world already without all that kind of stuff, you know. But there'll always be sort of horror themes and stuff like that. Of course, it's death metal, you know what I mean. But yeah, of course, the next album will be more mature and have more mature themes.
Was that a wee exclusive there? Are you busy writing for our next album?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, definitely. No matter what happens, and I've always sort of said this with Austerymn, whether we, you know, there's no beating around the bush. We're all getting older. You know, whether we go out on tours all the time and do this, that, and the other, or whether we don't go out live or whatever it is. I'm not looking into the future. It'll be whatever. But we want to do a recording, and we've always wanted to do a recording with Bob on drums as well. I'd say if everyone else left and it was just me and Bob, I'd want to work on something with Bob, definitely.
We did start doing some stuff, didn't we, quite a while ago? But then, I think it was around COVID, wasn't it? It all kind of dissolved, and then it's been a bit of a...
So there's a wee bit of a bromance going on here. He spoke very highly of you just there. You know,
didn't you?
But I'm just wondering if you're going to make it easy for Rick and get your name changed on Deedpoll to Richard to make it easy for him, you know, because he just went Richard, the whole story, and then Bob.
We can't have the four dicks.
Yeah,
some balance somewhere.
Yeah.
But what would you say is the softer differences to like the material that you're writing just now to what you did in the debut album? What would you say is the subtle differences in the songs?
Well, to be honest, it's not that
More
much
of the
different.
same.
To be honest,
Yeah.
It's death metal that the songs we were working on. But like Rick said just before, it's a bit more mature, you know. So obviously. You get, well, it should get better as you get older, shouldn't you? I suppose.
Yeah.
It's one of those sort of classic things, you know, you put out that debut album which is an amalgamation of all your early stuff, plus maybe a few others that you've written. For example, like The Living Grave and stuff like that, that is a later song.
Yeah.
And Feeding the Grotesque is a later song. So they've got a little bit more, probably, maturity to the writing and stuff. Whereas a song like Buried Alive was exactly what it is, and Dead was exactly what it is. You know, it's simple, it's in your face, and all the rest of it. There will always be simple and in your face songs because I think, you know, death metal sort of needs that. But there's just going to be, obviously, like we're all, other than Rick on lead guitar, we're all in our 50s now. It isn't going to be the same as when we were 15. It's as simple as that.
To be fair, you call him Rick. I was kind of looking at Alan West. Some of his guitar solos, by the way.
Yeah.
See when he said, and this is the obituary riff, and then the solo he came in, I was like, But so I think Rich Mumford is actually quite happy that he's a rhythm guitarist, because I don't think he would have been able to do that.
the thing was, I was in a band called Bloodmoors with Rik, the guitarist, and so I always knew how great he was, you know. And I think the thing was as well, I mean, Rik was very, very conscious of still taking elements of what Stu did on the album, because he didn't want to, you know, sort of like completely go away from it, and it also gave him patterns to sort of get to, if that makes sense, so he could not improvise, he's worked them out, but at first improvise on bits and then say, right, well, I'm going to keep that bit in. And so people who listen to the album will probably be familiar with the solos, even though they are different in some ways and everything. Yeah. But he's tried to play tribute as much as possible to Stu, which was really cool. Because we did give him free rein. We sort of said, look, you know, I'm not going to sit here and we don't know how long this is going to go on. You know, if you just want to sort of crack on and do whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. But in fairness, he sat down with the album, listened to what Stu did, and picked out stuff from Stu. So, you know, he was very complimentary to that.
Good.
So
good.
Really
Are you worried about the next album then, in case he puts another like string on his guitar, then he's going to get more progressive and technical, and you're going to have to get faster?
I don't think he'll get much faster than that today.
So whose fault was that then? Who was making you play faster then?
I think it's everyone's really. Well,
it was. We're going to blame Mumford. It was Mumford. No. Because a lot of the songs start with guitar, with a guitar riff. You know, in the past we've had Bob counters in and you know, whatever. Other times we've just started, you know, the guitar sort of going for it and everything. And this time we just said, just go for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so but for me it felt spot on. But I'm not a drummer doing double kicks.
No, it wasn't that above what it normally is, when I said, but it's just constant. It starts with double bass and it finishes at like.
It's a lot easier doing it in the studio when you can do it time and time again, but when you're live, you're like 30 minutes double bass, blah 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 blah. Thank you very much, Dave. From Abysmal Decay, he's a good guy. I shouldn't listen to what everybody else thinks about him. But I thought it was an absolutely sterling set. Is this the last that we're going to see of Austerymn this year? Are you going to be
hopefully not
playing a couple of gigs?
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, again, I've never predicted anything. It's to do with, obviously, you know, promoters have got to come and say, hi, we'd like your band to come and play. You know, we've put ourselves out there and said, hello, we're back together again. Do
you know what I find crazy is the fact that you've been at it since 89, 90 and stuff like that. You've been over to America, you've had the big tours and all the rest of it. But this is the first time you've played Scotland?
First time we've played Scotland, ever. Yeah.
Well,
as Austerymn.
I mean, I know the wall's about a foot tall, but you can climb over it and you can come back.
This is it. But again, we even back then we didn't get the offers, but now I think, and that's where me being in Malediction has obviously helped. You know,
absolutely.
With the guys who obviously have organised all this.
Yeah.
You know, so they've obviously heard Austerymn since then. You know, the other things that everyone's been doing, and sort of like, we want to get these guys over, which was thrilling. You know, once we got back together again and we decided we were going to sort of do it.
Whose idea was it? Did you just accidentally meet in the pub and say, let's do it again? Or?
Ironically, it was our original bass player, Steve's idea.
Yeah.
Because it had been, so last year it had been 10 years since the last album, Sepulchrum Viventium, which I know you love saying.
I don't say it.
Yeah. And do you know what it means?
I haven't a clue.
It means the living grave.
Is it French?
No,
is it?
It means the living grave. It's in Latin, yeah. We were just trying to be all sophisticated, it didn't work. But yeah, so it was Steve's idea. So we all said, yeah. And I was sort of just going to do vocals. I was sort of like, so Steve on bass, we'll get Rik and Rich, get Bob, and I'll just do the vocals and stuff. And then Steve, complete and utter legend, after a little while he just sort of turned around and went, you know what guys, my heart's just not in it.
Yeah.
I've got loads of stuff on, this, that and the other. So rather than sort of like bullshit us and all the rest of it, Steve was completely on the level and just sort of said, no, I don't want to do it. So for me, as a bass player, I was like, well, it's a no-brainer. We've got Dead of Winter already booked.
Yeah.
So I'll just do bass and everything, and by the time we actually got into the room and started rehearsing, it was that was the lineup.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, he's missed playing in front of 300 drunken Glaswegians,
phenomenal,
even at 2:30 in the afternoon. But Bob, was it a simple yes when the guys came and said, right, we're starting back again?
It was, but it was kind of with the caveat as like, because I do other bands, you see, so it's like I'll do it as long as I've got time to do it and I can do it. So
give a shout out to the other bands that you're in then.
A band called Arjesk, which is a black metal band, and a band called Gospelheim.
Yes. Manchester?
Yeah. Both Manchester,
Yeah. It's funny how you say about the guys playing fast up the stairs and yet you're in a black metal band. Is it solid, old style Norwegian dark throwing black metal?
Not really, but I've written those drums, you see, so they're in my kind of more my comfort zone. So I'm drumming somebody else's stuff here, so it's slightly different.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think when it comes out, when we do the new stuff, I don't think it's going to be that different, so I'll be doing it then anyway. So
cool. Any kind of deadlines? Any kind of time when you think it's going to be ready?
No. At the end of the day, you know, we've all got other bands.
Yeah.
Malediction are obviously going to be recording an album coming sort of this spring.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's obviously got to take centre stage for that. Rik, who's in Bloodmoors, are also currently about to start recording an album. So they're doing that. Bob's got stuff on. So we've all sort of got stuff on. But once the dust has settled and we've got time and we've got the material fully together, we'll definitely do it. Because I think Austerymn needs another album.
Well, you know exactly where it's going to be played. You know exactly where you'll get interviewed. You know exactly Moshville Times will be all over it. Moshville Radio will be all over it.
Yeah,
you guys deserve the promoting because I thoroughly enjoyed your set up the stairs.
Thank you.
It's the first time that I've seen you since it's taken you 35 fucking years to come up north of the border, and you're only 2 hours away. But yeah, absolute pleasure seeing you guys, and I wish you guys all the best, and look forward to the new material. So see you soon. Take care.
Thank you
all right,
very much.
thanks Rik.
Cheers,
thanks Bob.
Cheers.
All right.
Thank you.